aged in their 40s and 50s who've lived in the Brighton area of Sussex. In 1967, a grammar school boy was murdered, probably by other boys who robbed him of 4 shillings. That's 20 pence.
What's the matter, Kim? Why are you home?
I don't remember very much before, and I don't remember very much after, but I do remember that incident. Unexpectedly, my father came home, and he was very upset. Very, very upset. I remember him opening the door to our lounge and just basically falling into my mother's arms.
Ken told me that Keith had been found on the path, and I said yes, well, he was going to Woodingdean, and that was the beginning of the rest of our life.
My father was a successful band leader. He had several orchestras that would go out under his name, Ken Lyon Orchestra. This was the time my parents seemed to have everything they wanted, really, and had a nice house. They had 2 children. They were very happy at the time.
I saw a couple of nice suits that would be good for my holiday.
Most Saturdays, Dad had to leave after lunch to go to work, and the equally musical children had piano practice. But Keith asked if he could first walk to nearby shops to buy some things for school. So, around 3:45, wearing his grammar school tie and with 4 shillings in his pocket, Keith set off up Ovingdean Road and out onto the bridle path across the downs.
My husband was at work, and I think it was the Metropole Hotel.
Well, that was marvellous. Thank you from the orchestra.
The detectives had gone and told Ken, and he just got off the stage and came with them. He was just shattered, and then, of course, the police told us what they knew, and they eventually went, and we just sat and with our arms around each other and wept.
It was a frenzied and vicious attack. Those are the words of a senior detective.
Keith had been stabbed 13 times, and it all made front-page news.
A painstaking inch-by-inch search of these vast, fallow farm fields behind me, looking for clues.
But some key people were never found. There was a motorcyclist, but above all, a group of boys seen fighting. Were they just larking around, or were they robbing Keith? The knife itself was found nearby in the grounds of Fitzherbert School. It had been given away with packets of washing powder. 50 yards away is a cemetery with public lavatories, and more clues were found there.
Good morning. Are forensics here yet? Yes, Mr. Marshall's already inside. Thank you.
Someone had been washing in a hurry. There was Keith's blood, but also someone else's, and fingerprints.
There was an enormous investigation at the time. They fingerprinted some 6,000 local youths aged between 12 and 18. But it wasn't compulsory. The police couldn't force anybody to have their fingerprints taken. It was a voluntary thing with the permission of their parents. And so a number of youths or children at the time did not have their fingerprints taken.
In the next few weeks, someone wrote to the police claiming to know who was involved. These may well have been a hoax, but almost certainly several people did have some idea, and no doubt they still do.
As this murder is still unsolved, somehow my life has been held in a kind of limbo from the day he died until the present day. Whoever did this murdered my brother and took away my childhood. And I can honestly say I haven't had a happy day, a happy, complete day in my life.
David, it's such a tragic story, and the tragedy goes on. I'm just trying to think of people in the community 33 years ago who heard something, or who are on the fringes of this, who know something. How can you prompt them to ring in now after all this time?
Well, advances in technology mean that we can take a fresh look at the evidence that was found at the time. It may be that if those youths were involved, there's perhaps one of them didn't play a major part, and perhaps with his conscience now playing on his mind, he should make contact with us, tell us his side of the story before we go knocking on his door.
So a bit like the Stephen Lawrence inquiry, you're now using new forensic science techniques on evidence from the time.
That is correct, yes. We're able to do that with the evidence that we found.
Now, so many people must have known something about this. I mean, let's face it, this wasn't a band of carefully plotting villains. It looks as though this was a bunch of kids. They don't know how to keep a secret. This would have spread like wildfire. Lots of people would have heard about it. Lots of people would have suspicions.
That's right. We're sure the answer lies somewhere in the community. We want people to, if they've heard anything, somebody said something to them, we want them to come forward and tell us what they know. We can then decide and assess whether that information will take us further forward with this inquiry.
And that's just not one person you need lots of people to ring. You need all the bits of arrows to come and point in the same direction. I know you've already had one call, even before Crimewatch was on the air. Because of the reconstruction, the Brighton Argus was doing a feature. Somebody saw that and has already rung you, but not coming up with enough information.
That's right. There was a motorcyclist shown in the clip. We weren't able to trace that person at the time. If they're watching, please contact us. The person that has contacted us say that they know who that motorcyclist was. If that person's watching tonight, can you please contact us again? We are determined to do everything we can for Keith's family to find out who was responsible for killing him.
Well, let's try and solve this tonight. Please do call. Anything you know at all. The Incident Room is a local call number, 0845 60 70 999. That's 0845 60 70 9999. Or call us here in the studio. It's a free call, 0500 600 600.